Yo, this is the Outspoken Podcast.
Every good relationship has healthy boundaries. It took me time to realize this. I really don't know how to set boundaries. I'm more of a person who tries to align with what the other person wants. So having boundaries and all of those things, not really my thing. Instead, I align with what you want. It got me thinking that, does that mean that the relationships I have with people are not healthy? What I now realized is quite a number of my friends have boundaries. And because they have boundaries, I don't see them as a bad person. So if they have boundaries and I don't see them as a bad person, that means I could also have boundaries and they won't see me as a bad person. Now, the good thing about boundaries is they help the people in the relationship, friendship, romantic, whatever relationship it is, to feel secure, to feel safe, to feel respected, to feel accepted. That's what boundaries are for. So much so that if you're a kind of person that when things go wrong with you, you don't like talking about it instantly. You like to have time to process it. You can be that kind of person and your other friends will be cool with it. But now there's a point of communicating your boundaries to people. For example, I have a friend, literally, she likes to process things, especially when things go wrong. She likes to process it before coming to your face or anything. But one thing she will do is she will communicate it. So, Grace, this is what's up. I'm not ready to talk about it. When I am ready, I'll talk to you about it. So, you are not in a point where you are overthinking. You're in a point where, okay, you are just waiting for the time to come. And to trust her enough to come to you when she has figured it out. To trust him enough to come to you when he has figured it out. So you understand? So there's a point of having boundaries. There's a point of communicating your boundaries. So you don't just leave the other person in a ditch of them trying to figure out your boundaries. You communicate them. You communicate those boundaries to them. For example, now some people have, let me say, physical inabilities. And some people don't mind when you joke about them. Some people don't want you to joke about the disabilities they have. If I communicate, I do not appreciate it when people joke about how I talk, when people joke about how my hair looks like, when people joke about how my legs are, when people joke about my eyes, I do not like it. Me as your friend, what I can do is try as much as I can to not joke about the things you just mentioned. And now, the point where I will take you seriously is also when you don't joke about it yourself. So you see, there's a point of boundaries, there's a point of communicating those boundaries, and there's a point of me living up to those boundaries. Boundaries are also somehow defined with the level of relationship you have with this person. There's a certain level of intimacy that they would give me or they will permit me into their life. There's a certain level of information that they will permit me to have about them that other people don't have. And I also have friends that there's a certain level of information I have about them that people have more than I do. So it's always about the level of relationship you have with these people. Setting boundaries in alignment with those relationships. Setting boundaries and values to sustain them. And also communicating those boundaries to them. Not just communicating it, but also living up to it. Oftentimes, when we speak to people and we ask them, what don't you like? Most people say, I hate lies. I hate when people lie. Like, oh my God, how can a person lie? So this, I know. Then a friend calls them instantly and like, are you home? No. Imagine. So have boundaries and also live up to your boundaries. So that I actually see how serious you take these things. So that I can see the value you place on them. So if you do not like joking about certain things, don't joke about them with people. Because when people see you joke about a certain thing, they somehow believe that they can joke about it too. When people see that you talk about certain things, they somehow think they can talk about it too. So if you don't want to joke about how your hairline is, how your legs are, how your stomach is, don't joke about it. So that's it. Healthy relationships are surrounded or bounded by boundaries. You feel me? Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Outspoken Podcast.